I'm exploring ambisonics and 3D sound technologies to compose immersive sound experiences, questioning how immersive technologies are changing our concepts of space and time, developing methods for nonlinear narrative, and examining the interrelationship embodiment has between the body and the technology. An immersive soundscape surrounds a listener in a three-dimensional sonic environment. We listen to immersive sound similar to how we listen to the world. Our experience is naturally an immersive one. The body is within a space while listening. My project uses theory and practice-based research. I'm questioning what in-between experiences can be created within an immersive soundscape. And I have identified many ambivalent and in-between categories as discussed by artists, philosophers, and musicologists. When listening to immersive sound, in-between experiences happen. It has an ambiguous nature, it is elusive, and often goes unnoticed. I'm observing, highlighting, and presenting them within my work. My process involves composing sound, voices, and field recordings. I often use an H3 VR ambisonic mic, as seen in this slide. It's very portable, and it's a way to capture 360-degree audio. I can also recreate spatial elements of sound using the ambisonic plugins. For this example is a HarpX plugin I use for Reaper. It is a signal processing algorithm designed to extract the maximum amount of spatial information from the sound. You will see the representation of the circle with the locations of energy and location of the sound within that circle. This technology can also use to transform recordings into different formats. For example, 3D surround sound formats for film and television, or high order ambiex for VR and AR applications. So my journey began for my PhD. I joined Rough Mix. This opportunity built on my experience of interdisciplinary teamwork. My focus worked on immersive sound, and it gave me insight into how sound can subtly add something or command a live performance. I became aware of audience focus. It is very noticeable if a sound is wrong. But when the immersive sound experience works, it reveals and conceals itself within the performance. The Land That Forgot is a play created in response to climate crisis written by Lise Olsen. I produced an immersive soundscape for this production to explore an immersive experience for live performance. During the performance, the audience attention was on the stage, where the protagonist describes a society that has forgotten the wilderness. The 3D spatial arrangement positioned the sound within the sphere. The extended optimal listening area presented sounds of a stream, buzzing bees, and percussion instruments. A harp played a melodic tune at the front of the sound sphere. This melody was interrupted by other sounds of a distant storm, a morning chorus, and rustling trees. The performance toured Scotland in 2019, and it built on my knowledge of ambisonic sound setup in different venues. For example, if a venue has a 5.1 surround sound setup, you decode the ambisonic file to 5.1. This same sound file can be decoded to stereo, binaural, or any other speaker arrangement. The audience feedback revealed that the 3D soundscape added the illusion of being in an imagined place. For some, this was an emotional experience. The sounds they encountered moved between sensory signals of space, knowledge, and memories. The Active Listening Project is a project I work on, explored immersive sound experiences for children. and it was delivered alongside RSPB activities at Quarry Mill in Perthshire. Quarry Mill is a woodland walk. It also has historical significance with connection to Robert the Bruce, and local legend links Quarry Mill to the Stone of Destiny. My project activities included a sound recording workshop, a sound walk experience, an immersive sound composition, and a 360 video using Google Cardboard, a cheap alternative to a VR headset. This made it affordable and accessible. My intention was to discover how immersive 3D sound technologies can be used to deliver the RSPB's public engagement and educational activities. However, all events were cancelled due to lockdown. So the audience feedback was limited, but the feedback during development revealed that listening to a 3D soundscape allowed a listener to embrace their environment by directing attention to face-to-face interactions. A child's listening moves in between focusing and blurring, and the experience of the 360 video revealed for many of these children from a wide range of backgrounds, this was their first time they had ever experienced a virtual world. The child understands and objectifies the representation of the woodland, and anything the imagination can conceive is possible. So in March 2020, all planned events and community work for my research has been cancelled, but this changed many people's lives. I believe the anthropologist Victor Turner would describe this as a liminal space. We are threshold people, disorientated and in between. As lockdown restrictions continued, I started to think of COVID-friendly research. Every day I spent looking out my window, observing wildlife and the eerie silence of my world. The landscape has changed. It's a pause and an in-between space. So I'm now working on a project called The Land Beyond My Window, or Land Beyond Our Window. I'm using qualitative research to explore ambiguity, strange events, and in-between feelings. My research methods use ambisonic field recordings, Zoom interviews, and 3D sound production to explore sound, storytelling to emanate the sound of a pandemic. A diverse selection of participants across Scotland were interviewed on Zoom to create a platform to discuss perception and observation of time, space in the presence of others. I feel this project has cultural significance because it's happening right now. Interviewing during the pandemic and on Zoom affected the engagement. People were more willing to share. It could be the lack of social interaction or the fact that their interviews were being in their own home. All the participants had a lot to say. Zoom audio has latency issues. However, it does represent the sound of a pandemic. It's been common practice on the BBC to use Zoom for over a year. I now have an archive of interviews and immersive sounds to disseminate. Challenges. I'm starting to explore middleware for gaming platforms, that's WIs and Fmod. To explore this software, I'm also building on my knowledge of Unity. This technology has a steep learning curve and can be incredibly frustrating. Working from home has been an issue. Immersive sound can create large files. At times, my laptop processing power is pushed to the limit. Some of the technology I'd like to use for my project is beyond my budget. And I've also had to rethink my relationship with narrative, move away from a linear process and start thinking other ways of how we can experience 3D narrative. In conclusion, my PhD journey has embraced uncertainty, is a work in progress, and I'm excited and intrigued by the possibilities immersive sound technologies present. And my email is down there and I'm open to collaboration.